channel. Today I am so excited to share with you guys this new limited edition collection from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is called the Sunset Collection. So when these launched, you were able to get the entire bundle like this. So this is actually how I bought the daytime bundle. It came with the super cute pair of glasses, this palette, and the 2 metallic lips over here. This bundle was $50. I also have the nighttime bundle, and the nighttime bundle includes the palette and 2 glosses. So the 2 lippies in the daytime are metallic lips, and the 2 lippies in the nighttime are glosses. And I decided I really didn't need the glosses, which was kind of stupid on my part because I did have both of them in my cart, and I swapped it out and put this in here. And the reason why I say that is because I paid $50 for this bundle. The bundle for the nighttime is $48, and the reason why it's a different price is because the metallic lip in the daytime is $20 each, and the gloss is only $16 each. So there's a difference in price because it's a metallic lip versus a glossy lip. Now these bundles are actually sold out, so I don't know if you can buy these anymore. I know that you can still get the set, but I don't know if you can get it in this limited edition case with the glasses and all of that stuff. Now you can buy everything individually. So the palettes are $32 for the 4-pan quad palettes, and the lippies, the metallic lips, are $20 each, and the glosses are $16 each. These eyeshadow singles are $12 each. So if you have any of the singles within your collection, it's nice that you can pop these out because maybe you have a shade in your collection that might go better with some of these shades. I like how they created these palettes that you can pop them out and interchange them with their single eyeshadows that they have. Kind of customize it the way you want, especially if you're gonna go on a vacation or a weekend trip, you know, and maybe you wanna swap one of these shades, but you wanna keep the mattes in there, or whatever you wanna do, you can customize it and kind of pop them out and swap them, which I really appreciate that they included that in there. If you buy these shadows individually, this palette would be $48. So I think that's the thing that's nice about it too, is that they did give you a little bit of a discount by buying them all together in this cute little quad. Now these are currently available on the Anastasia Beverly Hills website. That is where I got them. I ordered them and they arrived very, very quickly. I have a lot to say about these. So let's head straight into the tutorial. In the first tutorial, you're gonna see me use this palette, and then in the last tutorial, you'll see me use this palette. Now I will include timestamps in the description box down below for those of you guys that maybe want to skip ahead in which palette that you would rather see. So I will definitely include that in there for you, and then later on I will give you guys my full final thoughts on the palettes. I also compare them to these 3 palettes that I have in my collection. This is the Soft Glam, the Norvina, and the Sultry. Now I have the Modern Renaissance, but I'm not quite sure where it's at. I think my daughter might have snatched it. I go through these shades and I look for similar shades in the palettes that I have in my collection because I do want to compare them and see how they compare to the palettes that I already have. Because I feel like if I was a viewer, I would want to see that. So that's what we're doing today. I hope you guys are excited, and let's jump right into the video. Fresh off the FedEx truck, I'm so excited to have this. Now, as you guys know from the intro, I only bought one of the kits and I bought the palette from the other one. I love this whole entire presentation. This is freaking adorable. And maybe now opening it, maybe I do regret not getting the other one. I don't know. I don't know. Look how cute these glasses are. Oh my gosh. These are so stinking cute. So this is what the palette looks like swatched, and it makes me want to go to the beach. I freaking love this. Right now we have a ton of snow where I live, and so this palette is like making me want to go to the beach. That's why I wore my hair up in a bun today. As you can see, I decided it was a bun type of day. I'm actually going to be using my Sonia G Pro Eye Set today, and I'll be using a few other brushes that I will have all linked in the description box down below for you guys for convenience. All right, first things first, I'm going to go in with this shade right up here, and we're going to just pop that in the crease. Typical ABH, it's very powdery in the palette. But we all know that, like, that's kind of a given when it comes to the ABH eyeshadow formula. And I'm just gonna like bring this in the crease and just kind of build up that shade. And I'm bringing it all the way in and all the way out and just like windshield wiper motions. that's such a pretty shade. And I am actually going to build that. So I'm going to go in for a second time and see if we can build it, because, you know, the other shade that's in the palette is also light. And so I'm curious how we can build it. Okay, now I'm going to take a pencil brush and I'm going to take that shade and I'm going to bring that along the lower lash line. Kind of buff that in to the lash line, and I'm kind of like smoking it out a little bit farther. I'm going to go back in with this brush and I'm going to go in to this orangey shade. It's like the perfect peachy tone, which I live for a peach. You guys know I love peach. So I'm going to pop that over top and bring some of that peachiness. Ooh. Oh my gosh, that might be my new favorite combination. Look at those two shades together. They're like perfect. Okay, I already love this. Now I'm going to bring that along the lower lash line, kind of warm that up underneath there. I'm going to take this brush from Sigma. This is the shader crease brush. This is the E47. This is becoming one of my new favorite brushes from Sigma. And it's like long and wispy, but it also just gets right up in there and I love it so much. So I'm gonna go into this shade up here and I'm gonna like use that to just kind of carve out that crease. Just kind of create a little bit of a line and like definition within that shade. That's what I love about this brush, is it gets right up in there. As you can see, just gets right up in there and I love it, you guys. I really like that brush. It's a good brush. They actually sent it to me in like a PR package and I love it. Now for the lid, oh my gosh, I don't even know which one I want to use because these are so freaking beautiful. I kind of want to use both of them. Let's just do both of them, should we? Let's do both. I'm in the mood for both. So first things first, I'm going to take this brush from the Sonia G Pro Eye Set. This is the Worker Pro. I'm going to go into the rose gold one. Oh, damn, that's a pretty rose gold too. Oh my gosh. I knew I was going to love this one. Okay, so I'm going to spray it and kind of wet it down just to control that pigment so it doesn't go flying all over the place. I'm going to go in with my finger and just kind of like, oh my gosh, do you see that metallic shade? So both of these are metallic shades and I would definitely call them metallic. They're not a shimmer, they're definitely a metallic shade. I'm going to use my felt tip applicator just because it's kind of in there in my inner corner. So I'm going to take this from Huda Beauty. I'm going to take my makeup wipe and just dampen it like this. And so I get it like damp but not like wet. And I'm going to go into the gold one. And I'm gonna bring that like right. Gosh, that orange shade, it's like a beautiful yellow gold. Like it's really freaking pretty. This definitely works best with your finger. You know, I always struggle getting up right there in that corner with my finger, but it definitely works best with a finger. And I'm gonna have to clean up my concealer because it's kind of a mess under there, but that's okay. But this kind of, I'm just kind of going over this with the rose gold, and then I'm gonna go in with the yellow gold and like blend that into the rose gold just so that there's not like a line. All right, now I'm gonna go in with this, like this is called this is the Builder Pro brush, and I'm gonna go into this shade and then this shade, and I'm just gonna like place this right up here on the outer corner and just kind of build up a little bit of that dimension right here. But I don't even know that that is even necessary because the shade is so stinking pretty on its own. I'm gonna put the rose gold over top of that, or of the yellow gold, but that yellow is still going to kind of peek through. I didn't really love the way that looked, and it's messy, so I do not recommend doing your face makeup first and then doing this because it's a messier metallic shade, and you know it falls pretty much all over. But I do like how this kind of has a little bit of that yellow gold kind of peeking through. So I'm kind of glad that I laid that down and then went in with the rose gold, but I think this looks really pretty. And I'm gonna leave it there. Like, I don't feel like it needs a whole lot. What I am gonna do though is I'm gonna just take a matte brown eyeliner and I'm gonna go up along my lash line right here. Now, I typically don't wear eyeliner closer to my lash line, but I think today I'm going to, only because I don't really have like a dark eyeshadow close to the lash line. So I'm just gonna kind of place that right close to the lash line and then take the other side that has like a little rubber deal and kind of blend that out. And it just kind of gives a little bit of that dimension right there close to the lash line. Okay, so I'm back. I threw on some lashes, and these are from House of Lashes, and they are Demure lights, I believe. I will put them in the description box down below because I can't remember. Can't remember. Look at those beautiful lippies that I just swatched on my hands. Seriously, they are absolutely gorgeous, and they dry down, so they're like a metallic lip, and they dry down. So that's cool. I'm really glad I chose these instead of the glosses, just because I have quite a few glosses. So I'm gonna first try on this purple one right here. I don't think I have a metallic lip from ABH. I might, but I don't know off the top of my head. I love this metallic lip. This is so beautiful. And can you imagine just how beautiful this lippy will be with this quad? I can't wait to use this quad tomorrow. This quad is actually one that I'm more excited to use, only because of that like periwinkle shade up here. And I'm kind of starting to like the whole cool tone moments. Like, I'm kind of starting to get into them, but this is so gorgeous. All right, let's go ahead and wipe this off, and then we'll put on the peach one. Oh, they're hard to get off. All right, let's put this one on. This is that perfect peach metallic lip. You guys know I'm a sucker for peach. I'm a total sucker for peach. This is so beautiful. I might have to get the glosses now to put the glosses over top of this. Damn it. So that's it for this tutorial. Let's go ahead and jump into the tutorial using the nighttime palette, which I'm actually really, really excited to use. I will see you guys in my final thoughts. Okay, let's go ahead and start playing with this palette. Now, as you can see, I don't have my bottom part of my makeup done because yesterday I experienced quite a bit of fallout from this, and so I had to fix my under eye, and I just didn't really want to do that today. So whenever I need to do my eye look first, because I hate putting foundation around my brows, I hate doing that, you guys. It drives me nuts. So I went ahead and put foundation right around this area, put my brows on, and then I will do my face makeup after I get done with my eyes. I think this shade is so gorgeous and so unique. And even though this shade right here is really, really pretty, I feel like that is like a normal, you know, just a normal bronzy shade. But this one is very unique, and that's the shade that I am just most drawn to. So I'm gonna go in with this first shade right here. I'm using the Sonia G Pro Eye Set, which just came back into stock on the Beautylish website. So hopefully by the time you guys see this, the sets have not sold out by now, but I mean, they're such amazing brushes. I don't know if they're gonna, you know, last for very long in stock, but man, they're such good brushes. I'm just gonna use that shade to just kind of build up dimension within the crease, just like I did in yesterday's video. Now, when I'm tapping these, I don't recommend like tapping these hard, even though there is a nice lacquer. I think there's 4 layers of lacquer protecting this maple wood. I still don't recommend like hitting it hard. When I'm tapping it, it sounds like it's hard, but it's not. I'm just tapping it lightly. This shade is actually blending just like any other ABH shadow does, and you know, as we all know, if you're familiar with the ABH shadow, you know that they're really kind of dusty in the pan, but they actually blend really, really pretty on the eye. I'm gonna go in with that periwinkle shade. And I am going to use my felt tip applicator. This is the one from Too Faced. You can't get this anymore, but I'm going to use this to apply this on my lid. And you can use your finger or your brush, whatever you prefer, but oh my gosh, that shade is so gorgeous. I love a periwinkle shade. I really do. It's just... Okay, now I will say right off the bat, I'm not getting any fallout with that shade. So the periwinkle shade, in my opinion, is not as chunky as the two metallic shades in this palette. So this is a duochrome blue and violet shift. So this is a duochrome shade. I want to have that shade down first before I go in with the dark, because then I'll know how much intensity I want to build up. So if I went in with this dark matte shadow right here first before putting on the periwinkle, I feel like I wouldn't know exactly how much I need to build as far as just intensity and depth within the crease. And now that I got that shadow down, now I can use it as a guide. I'm gonna go in with this brush right here, which is called the Builder Pro. And I'm gonna go into the first shade that we just used, that matte brown, and I'm gonna like tap this into this outer corner. And I'm just like buffing it into that periwinkle shade. I'm gonna go in with this brush from the Pro Eye Set. It's the pencil brush. And I'm gonna go into this matte gray shade. It's really pretty. It's like a gray plum shade. And it's definitely got some kickback to it, but you know, that's typical for ABH. And I'm gonna basically slowly start building this up and concentrating most of the shadow right close to the lash line and keeping it like dark right there. And then I'll slowly start buffing it up into the upper part. But that builds so good. I'm gonna kind of create that V with that shade, so I'm gonna kind of place it right here. And I'm gonna like really build this up. I'm just gonna keep packing this on. And I'm just kind of doing this where I'm pulling that shadow out. Because I have enough down, I'm able to kind of use what's down on the lid to play around with it and build where I want it to. So I'm just taking the side of the brush and I'm just like grabbing that color within the crease and pulling on it. All right, then I'm gonna grab this brush from Sigma. This is the Shader Crease, the E47. I love this brush. I talked about it, I think yesterday. It's one of my new favorites from Sigma. And I'm going to kind of carve out this line. So I don't really want to like blend that gray shade into this part of the crease, but I want that line. So in order to create that, I'm just using a brush like this. And I feel like putting that dark right there, that line, just kind of gives that dimension between the crease and that periwinkle shade, but without like blending it into the crease. Now I'm gonna go back in with this brush. I'm gonna go back into that matte, the lighter color, and I'm gonna sweep that right back over top just to make sure that that shade is like prominent within the crease, because you know how it is that sometimes you'll lose that crease shade when you go in with a darker shade. So I'm just kind of bringing that shade back to life. Then I'm gonna take my finger and I'm gonna go into the periwinkle shade, and I'm really gonna press it over top just to make sure I'm getting the most like intensity from that shade. Now, as you'll see, I did get some fallout, but not as bad as the one from yesterday. So yesterday's palette, you get much more fallout, like a lot more. So I'm back with my makeup on. All I have to say is that that is probably one of my favorite periwinkle shades. It's so stinking pretty. I'm gonna take this brush from Luxie. This is the eye shading brush, the 213. And I'm gonna go into this shade first. And I'm gonna use that shade. It's kind of got like a stiff end on it. And I'm gonna use that shade to really buff that lower lash line. And I kind of want this blown out. That's the reason why I'm using this brush, is because I kind of want that shade to be blown out. So I'm really blending that into the lower lash line. That shade is so pretty, and it reminds me of this shade right here in the Natasha Denona Mini Nudes palette. This is the shade from the Natasha Denona palette. This is the shade from the ABH. So it does have a similar tone to it, but this one is a little bit darker. So that's good to know. It just felt the same. Like, it really did. The color just really felt like it was similar to that shade. Now I'm going to go in with this brush. This is the shader crease brush. I'm going to go into this shade right here, and I am going to kind of blend that into this lash line right here, but keeping it really close to the lash line. Like, I don't want that shade blown out very far. Next, I'm going to go in with a brown eyeliner. Now, I would probably prefer a gray, but I don't know that I have a dark gray. So I'm just going to go in with a matte brown eyeliner that I have here. This one is from Sephora, and I'm just going to kind of warm it up on the back of my hand. And then I'm going to go in and put that on the upper waterline. Okay, so I'm back. Let's go ahead and throw on the lippy. So I'm going to use the Iconic Nude Lip Liner from Charlotte Tilbury, and I'm just going to line my lips and just kind of give my lips an outline. And the reason why I'm using the nude is because I don't really want to change this shade too much. I don't know that that matches all that good. Like, I kind of thought it was going to match a little bit better than it does, but it's hella pretty. It's not my favorite formula on the planet. I like the metallic look, and I like how it dries down. I would say I got like 2-3 hours out of this one without needing to reapply it. I recommend going in very lightly. Like, I recommend wiping off the applicator before going in, because you really don't need a lot of product, and you don't want it to get too thick, because if you put too much on, it looks a little bit too thick and like clumpy. You want just a thin, light layer of these on your lips. Personally, I think I prefer the Pearl High Pigment lip glosses from Jouer. These kind of give the same experience as far as the metallic goes, but you know, it's a softer formula. It smells hella good. It smells like vanilla. And this will last me for, you know, an hour or two, and it's very comfortable to wear. So I think I prefer this formula over the ABH formula. The palettes are $32 each for 4 eyeshadows. The 2 in here are just the metallic shades. This one actually has a metallic and a duochrome, and I really like this duochrome. Now, I would not call this like a Pat McGrath duochrome. So what I mean by that is, when you look at it, it doesn't really change that much. It does have that blue, violet, periwinkle type shift to it, but it's not like a full-blown duochrome. So just know that. Like, I think it's absolutely one of the prettiest periwinkle shades. I know I keep calling it that. That's what it feels like to me. It's one of the prettiest that I have in my collection. I think it's a very unique shade within this collection that they're doing. These metallic shades are just absolutely beautiful, and they're a little bit chunky. So as you've seen, you know, in yesterday's tutorial, it definitely was a little bit chunky. So I definitely recommend doing your eyes first and then doing your face, because it just makes a mess. So this is what this palette looks like swatched, just so you guys can see what those shades look like. And I mean, this one right here is very pigmented, and it comes off more purple than I expected, and more purple than it looks like in the pan. But it is a very, very pretty shade, and I just love that metallic shade. It just is so pretty, you guys. So what I did was I went ahead and pulled out my 3 palettes from ABH. I have the Soft Glam here, I have the Norvina palette, and I also have the Sultry palette. I'm looking for shades that are similar to the shades that are in these quads. So the 2 shades that I have found is this one right here in this collection in the Night palette. This one right here in the Sultry palette, this teak right here. So they're very similar. Teak is just darker. So they're very similar though. As you can see, this one is just a little bit lighter than teak. And I would say this one's more shimmery than teak. Teak has more of that bronzy shade. This one has like a lighter shimmer to it. This one right here in the daytime palette, this one almost looks somewhat similar to Rose Gold in the Norvina palette, this shade right here. Okay, so this is the Rose Gold from the Sultry palette. This is from the daytime palette, and they're definitely not similar. In fact, this one is much more vibrant from the Norvina palette. Let's do Dazzling. Dazzling might work too. This is Dazzling from the Norvina palette. So that's what Dazzling looks like next to this one. Let's go ahead and pull out Rose Quartz from the Sultry palette. This one right here. Okay, now that one actually might be that one might be similar. So let's swatch them like side by side. Let's do that one right here. Okay, there's the Rose Quartz. And then let's go into that one in the daytime palette right here. The one from the daytime palette has a little bit more peach than this Rose Gold in the Sultry palette, but they're very, very similar. So I would say those two are probably the closest out of all of the shades that I have swatched on my arm. Comparing them, I would say those two are the closest, as you can see, and my dog's snoring, so FYI, if that's what you're hearing. She's a snorter. All right, so let me see about this gold shade. This one right here in the daytime palette. Let's grab Fairy from the Soft Glam palette, this shade right here. Fairy is similar, but this one is much more yellow than Fairy from the Soft Glam palette. So that's what those two shades look like. There's Steampunk in the Sultry palette. Let's put Steampunk. Okay, so Steampunk is definitely more bronzy. So this one's definitely a yellow gold. Do Bronze from the Soft Glam. This one right here is Bronze. This is the one from the daytime palette. So those are somewhat similar, but that one from the daytime palette is just very, very yellow. Like it's a very yellow gold, and it's very, very vibrant. There's the Periwinkle shade. That's the one I have on my lid currently. Let's first put it next to this Soil shade from the Norvina palette. And then I'm also gonna swatch this Celestial because I really wanna see how those will look next to this. All right, so that's what the Celestial looks like next to the Periwinkle shade. Let's go into that matte Soul shade, because the thing that I'm curious with is that how this would look like now that I have that Periwinkle shade and I already have the Norvina palette in my collection. When I want to use that Periwinkle shade, I want to see if I can grab this shade because this complements that shade perfectly. And I mean, that shade is so perfect with that shade. And if you think about putting this shade, this one right here, right below that Periwinkle, like if you put that right with it, I mean, look at those three shades together. I mean, you could create one gorgeous look with those three shades. Wow, and those are very similar. Those matte shades are so similar, which is bizarre because they're like the same tone, but they're different. So this is from the Norvina palette. That one is the shade Soul. So this one is Soul, and this one is the matte shade from the Nighttime palette. So as you can see, those are definitely very similar, but this one's just a little bit darker in tone. So you could really create a gorgeous look with those three shades, and then maybe popping that brown shade, the matte brown right up here, with it to kind of give you a transition. So I'm just trying to give you guys options of what you could do, you know, how to incorporate it with your other palettes. My thoughts on these two palettes, if you like the ABH quality, I think these will be a nice addition to your collection. I personally really like an ABH palette. The Soft Glam is still one of my all-time favorite palettes, like ever. And so I did not hesitate to buy these because I know that I like the ABH quality of their shadows, and I was just excited to have them in these little kind of travel-friendly form, and I know that these are limited edition, and I think they're fun, and I'm definitely glad that I have them. All four of these would cost you $48 if you bought them all separately. So you basically buy one and you buy three and get one free, which is nice. So if you are somebody that buys the individual shadows, then I think this is a total steal because you're getting all four of these shades for $32 versus $48. So I definitely 100% think that that is an awesome deal. But if you're somebody that that has more of this type of option within your collection where you're buying a palette and you get all these different shades. Now, don't get me wrong, the pan sides are much smaller in the palettes than they are in the individual. I know people that prefer the individuals because they get to customize their own palettes. So if you are that person that likes those individuals, then these are definitely a total steal. If you buy the bundle, then you're really saving quite a bit of money. If you bought all 4 single shadows plus the 2 glosses, that would be $80 and you're buying it for $48. So that's a screaming deal, you guys. Daytime set retails for $50. That's $88 full price, meaning you get the 4 pans and the 4 shadows and the 2 metallic lips. So that retails for $88 full price because the metallic lips are $20 and the glosses are $16. So in my opinion, you are really getting a good deal. If you are somebody that likes the single shadows from ABH, like that is an awesome deal. I mean, nobody can deny that. So do I think these are worth it? Absolutely. If you're somebody that buys those single shadows, these are totally worth it. Now, I know that if you look at the palette and you're like, okay, well, I can get a palette for 42 or 45. I think the Sultry is 45 and this one is 42, I believe. I know that some are saying, well, you know, the palettes, they're like 42 bucks or $45. I totally get it. I hear you 100%. Based on the individual size of these, I think you're getting an awesome deal. So that's my opinion on it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you guys again for all the love that you guys show me and this channel. It means absolutely the world to me, you guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful day filled with love and happiness. I will see you guys right back here tomorrow at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. I'm actually going to be creating a video talking about all of the more affordable options that I have in my collection that are great alternatives for some of the higher end products that I have in my collection. So come right back here tomorrow at 11 a.m. to see that video. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Love you. Bye. Super cute pair of glasses. Woo, they want to keep falling out. Come on. Stay in there. Ow, that pinched me. Holy rat bastard, that pinched my finger. Oh, help me. Ow. And that blends just like a typical BH Cosmetics shadow. Like it just, BH Cosmetics. What the hell am I talking about?